Hello everyone, this is Nidhi from Urban Diaries, back with another lesson on the Urban Diaries YouTube channel. In today's grammar class, we'll learn about active and passive voice, which is a very important topic in English grammar and is also a part of integrated grammar when it comes to do preparation for any competitive exam. In English language, there are two ways in which we can describe an action performed by the subject. One is active voice and second is passive voice. In this lesson, we'll learn what are the active and passive voices, what are the differences between both of them, steps to change an active voice into a passive voice, and how can we use active and passive voice in our daily conversation. This video is a bit longer guys, but I would suggest you to watch it full till the end and not to skip so that you get full information about this topic. I promise if you watch it fully, you're gonna be a pro in active and passive voice. So let's get started. One way in which we can describe an action performed by the subject is active voice, where the subject performs the action and the object receives the action. Let's see this example. I always help my friends. In the given sentence, I is the subject who is performing the action of helping, and my friends is the object who are receiving the action of help. So I is the subject, help is the main verb, and my friends is the object. Hence we get the simple structure of an active voice, which is subject plus verb plus object. Now the second way in which we can describe an action performed by the subject, that is passive voice, where the action is performed on the object by the subject. Let me explain this to you. If we want to change the same sentence which I just told you in active voice into passive voice, I may say, my friends are always helped by me, where the action is performed on the object by the subject. In other words, passive voice is used to show interest in the person or object that experiences an action rather than the person or object that performs the action. Let's take a closer look at the first pair of sentences. The passive voice is used frequently. Examine this sentence. Here, we are interested in the passive voice and that it is used by people frequently. But we are not focusing in the sentence who uses it, right? In the second sentence, the house was built in 1654. Here we are interested in the house and that it was built in 1654. But we don't focus on who built it. And that is what I said. We don't focus on the subject, that means who performed it, but we focus more on the object and the action performed in the sentence. The formation of an active voice and the passive voice are different in structure. The structure of an active voice is subject plus verb plus object. On the other hand, the structure of passive voice is object plus helping verb plus verb's third form plus by and at last subject. So there are rules to change an active voice into a passive voice, and how can we convert an active structure into a passive structure? We'll talk about it further in this lesson. If we want to change an active voice into a passive voice, we'll have to follow a set of rules for that. Let's see an example here. My active sentence is, the dog chased the squirrel. In this sentence, the dog is the subject, chased is the verb, and squirrel is the object. Now if I change this active voice into a passive voice, I'll say, the squirrel was chased by the dog. Here, the squirrel has become the object, was is the helping verb, chased is the third form of verb, then we have by, and at last we have subject. Alright then, I believe by now you have understood what is an active voice and what is a passive voice. Also, you have understood the main difference between active and passive voice, that is, the structure of both the sentences. Remember, the meaning of an active voice and passive voice remains same, but the structure while we change an active voice to passive voice changes. This process is also known as transformation, transforming an active voice into a passive voice. Now is the time to learn how to change an active voice into a passive voice. For that, there are 5 simple steps that you need to understand and remember so that you will become a pro in active and passive voice. First is to identify subject, verb and object in any sentence. Second is to interchange the position of subject and object in any sentence. Third is to convert the main verb into third form of verb. Fourth is to identify the tense of the sentence and accordingly put the correct helping verb. And at last, fifth, just to put a preposition by before the subject. Now let's take an example to understand all 5 steps in a sequence. She cooks the food. This sentence is in active voice and now we'll change it into passive voice. And that we will do with the help of the 5 steps that I just told you. Let's try this. Step 1. Identify subject, verb and object in any sentence. So we know that in this sentence, she is the subject, cooks is the main verb and food is the object. Step 2. Interchange the position of subject and object. So, subject will come in place of object and object will come in place of subject. If the subject of your active voice is a pronoun, as in this sentence, so while putting the subject in place of object, you need to write the objective case of pronoun. So, if the subject of your sentence is I, the object would be me. If the subject is we, the objective case would be us. In the same way, he will become him, she will become her, and they will become them. You remains you because the subjective and objective case of you is you only. This is how we change subjective pronoun to objective pronoun. Guys, this you will have to memorize, okay? So either you can take a screenshot or you can write them down somewhere so that each time you know what is the correct objective case that you need to write. Third, convert the main verb into third form of verb. Here in this sentence, we know that cooks is the main verb and we'll change it into third form, so it would be cooked. These 3 steps are easy and universal. That means every time when you will change any active voice to passive voice, the first 3 steps will be followed as it is. Now comes the 4th step, which is the most important step. That is to identify the tense of the sentence and accordingly put the correct helping verb. So to perform this step, you should have a good knowledge of all the tenses in English and you should know which helping verb is used in each tense. Let's look at a table which I made for you guys so that you can revise all the helping verbs which we use in each tense. In English grammar, we have 12 tenses which are simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. Simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Among all these 12 tenses, these 4 tenses can never be changed from active voice to passive voice, which are present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous and future perfect continuous. Now let's talk about rest of the 8 tenses. We'll take the main verb eat and we'll see how does this function with each tense. In simple present we write I eat the apple or he eats the apple. While changing it into passive voice, we will write the apple is eaten by him. This is, am, are will be used as per the subject. Those who know the tenses and the correct structure of each tense, they must have understood it by now. But if you don't know tenses or you need a revision, there is a playlist on my channel for all 12 tenses. You can click on this I button or you can go to the description box below to get this playlist. In the same way, we keep changing helping verb of each sentence according to its tense. Next is present continuous. In active voice we write I am eating the apple. In passive voice we'll say the apple is being eaten by me. Present perfect. In active voice we write I have eaten the apple. In passive voice we'll write the apple has been eaten by me. I already told you we don't make present perfect continuous. Let's move on to simple past now. We write I ate the apple. in active voice, and in passive voice we'll say the apple was eaten by me. Past continuous, I was eating the apple was being eaten by me in passive voice. Past perfect, in active voice we'll write I had eaten the apple, and in passive voice we'll write the apple had been eaten by me. We don't make past perfect continuous. Let's move on to simple future now. In active voice we write I will eat the apple. In passive voice I'll say the apple will be eaten by me. We don't make future continuous. Future perfect, last one. I will have eaten the apple. The apple will have been eaten by me. Again, you can take a screenshot of this. This will help you to choose correct helping verb in each tense while changing active to passive voice. Let's go back to the example now. She cooks the food. Since this is a present simple tense, we'll use is-mr as helping verb. So, the food is cooked. Do you think it's done now? Yes, almost. Only the fifth step is left. That is to put by before the subject. So, the final sentence would be the food is cooked by her. Well done guys, you're all trained now. Since you know all the important rules and steps to change an active voice into a passive voice. Now let's look at each tense one by one and understand how you can change or transform them from active to passive voice. Let's take one more sentence in simple present tense. Simran learns English. It's an active voice, and to change it into passive voice, we'll follow the same 5 steps. First, identify subject, verb and object. Simran is the subject, learns is the main verb, and English is the object. It's easy to find, right? So step 2 is to change the position of the subject and object. So English will come in place of subject and Simran will go in place of object. Step 3, to change main verb into third form. So learns will become learnt, L-E-A-R-N-T. Step 4, to put correct helping verb according to the tense. In simple present tense, we put is-mr according to the subject. Since our subject English is a singular subject, we'll put is here. And at last, step 5, to put by before the object. So the passive voice will be English is learned by Simran. Let's take present continuous tense now. Shubham is writing homework. This is an active voice, and to change it into passive voice, we'll follow the same 5 steps. Step 1, to identify subject, verb and object in the sentence. Shubham is the subject, writing is the verb, and homework is the object. Step 2, to swap subject and object. So Shubham will be in place of object and homework will be in place of subject. Step 3, to change the main verb into third form. So writing would be written. Step 4 is to put correct helping verb according to the tense. So since it's present continuous tense, we need to put is-mr and being in passive voice. Step 5, to put by before the subject. So the passive voice would be homework is being written by Shubham. I hope you guys are finding it easy now. Let's move on to the next tense, present perfect. Let's change this sentence into passive voice. He has played football. If you remember the table, to change present perfect tense into passive voice, we need to add has and have plus been in the structure. So if we follow all the rules one by one, the passive voice will be football has been played by him. Great going guys. Now let's move on to the next tense, simple past. We saw the movie yesterday. Guys, by now you must have understood how important that table is, which has all the helping verbs in that. So if you see that again, you will notice that to change simple past tense from active to passive voice, you will add was and were as helping verb. So the passive voice will be the movie was seen by us. Next is past continuous tense. Let's take this example. I was searching the pen. Guys, now I want you all to change it into passive voice and write the answer in the comment section below. I'm 100% going to tell you if your answer is correct or not. And I'm straight away moving to past perfect tense now. Change this sentence from active to passive. She had eaten the pizza. Make sure to follow all 5 steps. Identify the subject, verb and object. Change the position of subject and object. Change the main verb into its third form. Put the correct helping verb and put by before the subject. So the correct answer is pizza had been eaten by her. I'm sure that is quite easy for you now. Let's move on to the next tense now, which is simple future. I will complete the assignment on time. This sentence is in simple future and it's an active voice. Do you need to see that table again? Alright, but guys, don't forget to memorize it, okay? Well, at the last of this video, I'm gonna give you a trick, and with the help of this trick, you no need to see the table again and again. Alright, so the passive voice will be, assignment will be completed by me on time. So whenever you see any extra phrase or any adverb at the last of the sentence, keep them at last even while changing them into passive voice. Next is future perfect tense. You remember we don't change future continuous tense from active to passive voice. So this is the last one, future perfect tense. My mother will have cooked the food. And the passive voice will be, the food will have been cooked by my mother. Alright then, so this is how we completed all the tenses. Now you all must be getting confused with the table that how would you learn it. So here I am going to give you a trick. With the help of this, it will be easy for you to change all the continuous and perfect tenses from active to passive voice. So what's that trick? Well, if you see any continuous tense, you just need to put being while changing it into active to passive. For example, in present continuous, if you see a sentence like she is reading a book, you just have to put being in passive voice, and the passive voice will be the book is being read by her. If you have past continuous tense, you may get the sentence like he was playing guitar. So again, just put being in the structure. The answer would be the guitar was being played by him. Isn't it easy? So in all continuous tense, you just have to put being. Now in all perfect tenses, for example, present perfect, past perfect and future perfect, you just need to put been. B-E-E-N. Been, right? Let's see some sentences now. If the sentence is I have cleaned the house, it's in present perfect. So as I said, you will just put been in the passive voice. The passive voice will be the house has been cleaned by me. The teacher had taught the students. The passive will be students had been taught by the teacher. In the same way, you will have enjoyed the play. If you change this one to passive voice, you will simply write the play will have been enjoyed by you. So all the three perfect tenses we just put been. And this was the trick, guys. I'm sure this is gonna help you while dealing with such questions. Now is the time for a quiz. I'm gonna give you 4 sentences in active voice and you will write the answers in passive voice in the comment section below. Make sure you follow all 5 steps one by one. Number 1. I will clean the house every Saturday. Change this active voice into passive voice. Second, Tom has painted the entire wall. This sentence is in present perfect and you need to change it from active voice to passive voice. Number 3. Harry ate 6 bananas. Number 4. The 2 kings are signing the treaty. All the 4 sentences are very easy. If you know all 5 tense and you know which helping verb is used in which tense, this exercise will be a child's play for you. That's it from my side. Don't forget to write your answers in the comment section. I'll check it and will let you know if your answers are correct or not. I'll be back with a new video on a new topic. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.